Hey there, Al Perhacs, author, creator, visionary behind the Mind Force method of high performance mentoring and coaching. And today we're going to talk about how do you hire somebody? Like, what's the process? And I'm going to go a little tactical here. And maybe this doesn't fit exactly with what you need when you're looking to hire somebody, but I can promise you're going to be able to take away some concepts that I think are going to be, work brilliant for you. And I guess it depends on the position, but I'm going to give you some guidelines that I use that have been very successful for me over the years in hiring executives, managers, sales reps, support personnel, and I think you're going to get a lot out of it. So let's start with the process, right? So number one, you want to hire somebody. And you set up what that position is, right? So number one is the resume. But resume doesn't really mean anything. I would prefer to have a referral or something like that, or coming from a consulting company, than just a resume. Because a resume, depending upon how many you're getting, you could be weeding out a lot of good people, unfortunately. That's the way it goes with a resume. But we get the resume, I take a look at it. It doesn't mean anything to me, really. It's really just a starting point. Okay, I get to know this person. I'm going to research them online. I'm going to see their Facebook if I can. I'm going to see their LinkedIn. How active are they? Right? Instagram. You've got the internet. Use the power of the internet. Now, you might not be able to find them. It's okay. Not a big deal. But then the next thing is the interview. And again, it depends on the type of position it's for, but I like to know, where this person's, coming from. And I'm gonna showcase to you what I use for managers, executives, sales reps, and so forth. So number one is the interview. And during the interview, I go through the standard questions. You probably have your own standard questions. That's fine. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Why are you looking to move on from where you're at? Or if you're unemployed, what happened in your last, you get through all that stuff. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a grade A through F. And in reality, I'm not going to get past B. I'm not hiring a C unless I really need somebody bad, or the company does, right? I'm usually only going A's and B's. And obviously, I just make a note. This guy was an A. This girl was an A plus. An A plus would be somebody I'm like, this is a potential superstar. An A is really fantastic. A B is solid, right? It's a solid person. We can train them, right? So I'm usually not even going to go with a C. I'm going with A's and B's. Not even delving into the C. D, forget about it. A D is somebody that's totally unqualified, and the interview is just terrible. Number three is homework. This is a key differentiator that most companies don't do. And I mean, they'll have you take psychographic tests and things like that, which is great. But at this stage, I want you to do some homework. And here's how we say it. I've enjoyed sharing with you about this opportunity. I think you'd be a good fit. And I'd like you to do a few things for me if you don't mind. And number one, I'd like you to create me a video of yourself explaining either, why you like the position, why you would be the best fit, as well as how you could impact the job. Now, this can be for anything: writing, content, sales, management. It doesn't matter. I want to see their personality. I want to see how they are in video. I mean, I've had these done where somebody sends me a video and they're like in a dungeon, like in their basement or something. I'm like, oh man, that's weird. How many dead bodies are in that backyard, right? And so I like the video. because it also is, not everybody likes being on video. It's nice. It's a little uncomfortable. So I want to take them out of their comfort zone and say, hey, shoot me a 1 minute video. It doesn't have to be super, impressive from a technical standpoint. I just want to see if you're willing to do it, right? It's a hoop. It's a hoop to jump through. And then number 2 is a 30, 60, 90-day game plan. And if they're a manager, they're a sales rep, they're an executive, what's your 30, 60, 90-day game plan? And here's how I usually explain it to them. Listen, I'd like you to do a 30, 60, 90-day game plan. I just want you to be able to put something together based on, you don't know anything really about our company. I mean, we've only talked very peripherally about the position, but I want you to take, from your experience in everything that you've done in your life, and I want you to take this 30, 60, 90 days. What are you going to do first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and scale it out. Now, obviously, depending on the position, it may not be as appropriate. If it's a content writer, I'm going to say, listen, could you do me a favor and show me some of the writing projects that you've done over the last year or so? If it's graphics, same thing, graphics. If it's a programmer, what have you programmed? If it's another type of manager, auditor, if it's an accountant, mention a game. Really what it comes down to is a case study. Show me a case study of where you've performed extremely well. That's really what it comes down to, right? And here's why I do that. Because number 1, the video is the personal, right? And we get to see what they're like on video. Are they going to be comfortable? Is it awkward? In either way, it's fine. The other thing is, will they do it, right? Number 2 is the case study allows me to break into their analytical side. How do they think? How do they write? What are we going to see? And I've gotten some case studies that were great. And I've said, wow, this is fantastic. I've gotten other case studies where it's like a half a page and it's like they didn't spend any time doing this, which means can't be that interested. It also shows me what they're going to do when they're on the job. Because if they don't give me a good case study, a good video, then I know they might not be the right person for the job, right? And I've hired people that I let come into the company without a solid 30, 60, 90-day game plan or case study. And because they were good on video or whatever, I thought they were good. And guess what? No, they didn't work out. So this is a key thing. This is almost better than the psychographic that you can do, right? So the other thing is that I also want to see how quickly they're going to do it. And I'll usually ask them, how quickly do you think you could get this done? And they say, well, how quickly do you need it? And I always say, well, it really depends. How quickly do you want us to assess you for this position? So if there's somebody that wants that position, they're going to do it immediately, Or if they're super busy and they say, listen, I can get it done over the weekend if you don't mind. Perfect. I'm good with that. It shows me that they have a protocol to plan things out, right? I don't have time right now. This is a Wednesday. I'm booked for the rest of the week, but I could do it on the weekend. Perfect, right? Not a big deal. And then the 4th level is peer review. And that's where I will have my peers, if I have them, interview the person. Now, if you're a solopreneur, entrepreneur, you don't have a lot of other people, it's okay. But then I'm going to do a secondary interview after, if the company's smaller, I'm going to do a secondary interview after I get back all the feedback, and we're going to talk about how we can move into the position. If I've got other managers, peers, I'm going to have them interview them one-on-one, and then we're going to get together all together on a Zoom call or Teams call, and we're going to do a cumulative interview. So again, one interview, me and the person. Second interview is going to be with a couple colleagues, probably 2 or 3. And then the third is going to be a group session with all of us. And we're just going to kind of round robin some questions. And then after that, I'm going to get together with my colleagues and say, what did you think? You've interviewed them personally. We've done it as a group. What do you think? Is this a good hire or not? You've reviewed the 30, 60, 90. What are we looking at here? And then we talk about it. Ultimately, I make the decision if I'm the hiring person. But I respect the feedback of the people that I'm working with, because they may have a third-party perspective that I don't recognize. And they may give me this person's good for this reason, or but we don't like that reason. And you can make a good decision. And this is, for me, been an amazing way to onboard people, to bring people into an organization where you're really qualifying them and quantifying them in a way that's fair, right? You're giving them tasks to do just like you would on the job, and you want to see how they deliver those tasks. And you find out in a very short period of time if they're good. And then you can put them through a disc analysis or one of these other tests to see if that would even be better once you get them into that hiring mode. But that's what I do. I've done it on every interview that I've ever done, with the exception of something that doesn't really, require that in depth. But if I'm hiring somebody for a decent level position where they're going to be making $75,000, $100,000 a year or more, I'm going to put them through this. I want to see what they have. And quite frankly, they should be doing it anyway. But this is the process that I use. I think you're going to get a great amount of value from it. If you're an entrepreneur, an executive, you can have your team do this. It's a good way to do it. Any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. So long.